episode 71, Tyler Rogers episode. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who went 4-3 last week.
And I'm Tyler Cohen, and I represent the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went an identical 4-3, although they started 4-0, so now it feels really bad.
Well, I mean, technically, we are recording this Wednesday night. We are in the bottom of the fifth, and the Giants are winning 2-1. I am strongly hoping, and just that this is where my mind is right now. Every single time I say they win on the podcast while it's being recorded, they win. So I'm counting it as a win.
So you just jinxed
Alex Wood looks great. No. It's
it.
confidence. No.
Classic announcers jinx.
It's not though, because it's worked in the past.
You have the game
on. If it didn't work in the
past,
past, then I would agree with you, and I would be back to what you're saying. But I'm telling you now, it's going to happen.
This is just the classic. He hasn't given up a home run in 35 innings, and that's a drive into that's exactly what you just did.
Deep right field, and Castellanos makes it a 4-0 ball.
Thank you.
game.
The Dodgers need you guys to lose again. So much appreciated.
Well, we did not do our season outlook last week. We were just busy just talking like little schoolgirls and forgot to talk about it. If we did talk about it, we would talk about how Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt are in the same lineup. So I would be surprised if we win one game, and how I thought the Dodgers were probably going to overtake first place because they're playing the Marlins. But fun fact, the Marlins fucking destroyed the NL West. I don't know what it is about the Marlins. They, I think it's the Marlins at home specifically, because they took 2 out of 3 from the Giants there, but then we beat them 3 out of 4 at home. So, and we've always just historically struggled against the Marlins. So I'm not talking shit, because I don't know what it is with the Marlins at home, but none of the top NL West teams can fucking beat them at home.
I don't know. It's hard because as a Dodger fan, I think I'm just stuck in, 2013, where we started the second half in Miami and ended up going like 42-8. And that was kind of the jumping off point.
Right.
So there's no excuse to play poorly in Miami, especially when they're not a good team. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not good. And after sweeping the Nationals, you feel like you got away with one on Sunday with the bullpen game, because we pitched 8 guys, but now, the bullpen is looking kind of taxed. Starters haven't done what they need to do. And then to lose tonight on a walk-off, especially after last night, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's called foreshadowing. The sadness of foreshadowing. But I mean, it's just that's just weird things. Like, for instance, the Cardinals, they're a good team. They're not a great team. But honestly, if we go, we have one more series against them, another 3-game series. If we go 2 and 4 against them, I would be so happy. Honestly, because Arenado and Goldschmidt just destroy the Giants. Doesn't matter what. That's just the way it is. So both of them in the lineup, right, back to back. It's almost impossible for them to win a series unless one of them is hurt, or I don't know. We're gonna get into the numbers when we get into the weeks, but before we do that, I think we need to address some all-star stuff. Some snubs, some A through B.
I can't wait to hear your snubs. Did like 15 guys on the Giants roster get snubbed in your opinion?
You act like I'm like the biggest homer in the world. No, I don't think that. No, I think the guys on the Giants who made it deserved it. I think the only one that could be on as a reserve, because a lot of pitchers duck out, is DeScalfani. I think he has an argument to be made there, but there's probably a couple guys ahead of him.
Like Walker Buehler.
Yeah, like Walker Buehler. So, no, I don't think any Giants got snubbed.
Hey, that's good.
But I will do the opposite of a homer. I think Muncy got snubbed for he's on the team, but he got starter snubbed.
Oh, yeah.
And
for sure. Thank you, Padre fans. Fucking.
Yeah. Which honestly, no one cares. I mean, the accolade is all-star. You get to have that accolade. You get to have
and
that.
Technically, he is going to be starting. He's going to be the starting DH. So,
Muncius?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for him. Maybe that's why they did it. Oh, and Dave Roberts is the manager, so yeah, I guess that would make sense. He's going to take care of his boy. So, yeah. Any other snubs that you? How are you feeling about this all-star roster besides the Max Muncy that we just talked about?
For the Dodgers, I feel like the biggest snub was Justin Turner. I think Justin Turner deserves to be an all-star, but what kind of messes it up is the Diamondbacks need at least one all-star representative, and Eduardo Escobar happens to be their best player of the season and happens to play third base, and that kind of locked up all the third basemen.
I would put Machado over him though, because Machado's having a pretty damn good year.
Yeah,
in
but
that defense.
Fuck Manny Machado. So,
gosh, it's so hard. It's one of my dudes. I know it. It's like I'm not supposed to love him, but I do.
Well, it's like we talked about last episode. Like I voted for Fernando Tatis at shortstop because he deserves
with his 55 errors. Fuck that dude.
Yeah, but he deserves it. Just like I voted for Buster Posey because he deserves it.
Right. But, big facts.
I don't know. I think Turner deserved to be on there, and the person who doesn't deserve to be on there is Mookie Betts, and he knows it, which is great. Right. It's good to see that he knows that he doesn't deserve to be on there. But it's just a weird choice. Like, you can't even make the argument that he's having. I mean, he's having a mediocre season. There are so many people that are having better seasons. So I would love to be a fly on the wall.
I think maybe it was also just taking into a lot of other things and that was the player vote that got him in, so it's not even like a fan thing.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is, like, I understand players probably recognize, like, okay, he's a great player. The numbers might not be there, but he's just a great player. But that's not what it's about.
Right.
I mean, I think the biggest. I don't want to steal your spotlight here, but I'm going to go in a couple more snubs. Cedric Mullins not getting the all-star or the starting spot,
the starting position
in the outfield.
Yeah. He'll start. He'll probably start over because Trout's obviously not going to play.
Yeah, but I just don't like that. I don't know, like
Trout. No, I get what you're saying.
You as a player, yeah, it's cool to have the accolade, but I get you. I bet you Trout would say, "I'm hurt. Other guys deserve it." And he's already been there so many times. Like, let some guy.
He doesn't even want to go. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That was probably the biggest one for me was Cedric Mullins, because he's having an incredible season.
Right. I don't know. Have they announced starters yet? Like for pitching?
No. I mean, they've announced the pitchers.
Right. I just didn't know if I missed anything about them. Who's going to start the game? Huge rumor that it's going to be Kevin Gausman because Jacob deGrom is supposed to be like pushing, like to try to get to add like an extra start or something. So because the Mets are in it.
He's already come out and said he is not pitching.
Oh well, then it'll probably be Kevin Gausman, especially because Kevin Gausman is from Colorado. So. Yeah. Storylines, make of it what you will. I mean, I think I'm gonna hit a nerve here, but you were telling me about how Chris Taylor deserved to be an all-star and this and this. He was voted in as an outfielder. Okay. I got an outfielder right now that has better stats than homeboy, more star power, which I don't understand why he's not on the all-star team at all. One, Bryce Harper. Dude's hitting 282 with 15 bombs and a 914 OPS compared to Chris Taylor's 274, 10 home runs with, I think it's like 50 more plate appearances and an 835 OPS. So,
I think you get voted in as an outfielder because that's where a spot is, but the voting's not based on his outfield position. No, but it's not. It is on paper.
But it is, though.
It is on paper. But the guy is playing every position.
Who's homering now? Okay, now the homer's coming to light right now.
I don't know. I don't see one. No, I think Chris Taylor deserves to be in there.
I think Harper deserves to be in there over him. My favorite player, Bryce Harper. But
I wish Bryce Harper was a Giant.
I really don't, because if it was, it would have been either Bryce Harper or Mike Yastrzemski, and Bryce Harper is a better player, but he also comes with a 13-year contract. So yeah. I think it's just another feather in the cap, if you will. I've heard a wise man said once before. To the Buster Posey Jig Jobbing Tour. I mean, he's starting the game at 34. Kevin Gausman probably will be starting the game like we discussed earlier. I mean, he's the best pitcher in the league. I mean, I feel like Jacob deGrom shouldn't even count like as a participant. Like, he's just up here and everyone else like.
So ignore the best person in the league,
because it's not even fair. It's not even fair. Like he shouldn't even count. He's a cheat code. And also, Buster Posey is getting a lot of love, well deserved. But DJ Becraw, I think, needs to get a little bit more love than he's getting. You can make an argument that he should be starting if you take into account defense. But I mean, probably not, because I mean, Tatis is like the face of baseball right now. But you could make an argument.
Yeah, and Brandon Crawford,
maybe not a great one,
face of PEDs and HGH.
Head and shoulders. Yeah, which is a huge compliment. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think, All-Star game aside now, I mean, home run derby stuff, I like watching it. I like kind of get caught up in it. Guys kind of, you get like mixed reviews. Like, people say that it messes with people's swings and you know, that like, guys, I feel like it's just an excuse people make. Like, when, you know, someone does a home run derby, they come back, it's like, oh, the derby messed with their swing. Like, yeah, it's just bad. Like a prolonged batting practice. Yeah, it's like, it's a one day. It can't fuck with your swing that much, I don't think. I think people are just making excuses for like when their favorite player has a shitty second half.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad. Well, seemingly no Dodgers are participating. There is one spot open.
Yeah,
it was fun a couple years ago watching Jock and Pujols kind of go at it. Like, that was cool.
Right.
But I like just watching the home run derby. I mean, I don't need a Dodger in it. And Shohei in at Coors Field is gonna put on a fucking show.
Yeah, I want to see how far that. Yeah.
I'm super excited to watch Shohei. That's what I'm most excited about. I mean,
I'm always really excited. I mean, I think the Shohei show, which is getting a lot of attention, well deserved. Again, one thing that's getting overlooked, obviously, is the hometown Trevor story, but mainly number one, in my opinion, is Trey Mancini. I mean, yeah, his just battle with cancer and you know, him coming back and you know, having a good season. I mean, he's on a really shitty team, but I'm really excited to see what he could do. And yeah, like, I mean, that's probably the guy I'm rooting for to take it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun just to watch it at Coors, because the last time it was at Coors, I believe, was '98, and I don't really remember it. I'm sure I watched it, but I don't really remember it. So it'll be fun just to see, and I would love to be there. And I've definitely contemplated it, but I'm going with better judgment here, and you will not see me there.
You got some free tickets, shoot them our way. Yeah, it's Pete Alonso, Trey Mancini, Shohei Ohtani, Matt Olson, Salvador Perez, Trevor Story. Juan Soto was just announced today, and one open spot. If you were to pick someone around the league who is not on here to participate, someone to hit it 500 feet, who are you going with? Tyler, go.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But he already
turned it down.
Yeah, he already said he turned it down. So if we're going with people who haven't turned it down,
correct.
I don't know. You know, I feel like someone like a Giancarlo Stanton, it would be fun to watch him, because New York doesn't really like him. And he hasn't played that great of baseball in the last couple of years, but just to see him, hit 500-foot bombs, that'd be fun. For the sake of the home run derby, I'd enjoy seeing Mike Stanton out there.
So stupid. I would pick. I know you didn't ask me, but I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna answer anyways. I wanted. I'd give it to Miguel Cabrera. Is he hurt or is he good to go?
I have no idea.
Well, let's just pretend that he's okay.
I don't really keep up with the Detroit Tigers very much.
The thing is I like it when teams that are out of it are competing because it seems like they take it more seriously. And Miguel Cabrera, he might not. I mean, one of the best hitters of our generation. I know he could hit at 500 feet, but the way he understands hitting, and I just feel like he has a chance to actually win it because Coors Field doesn't take that much to knock it out. He might pace himself and just know the way to do it and not try to put on a 500-foot show and just put on a homer show.
Yeah. I think I want to take this valuable airtime to make a plea to Major League Baseball and to all of you out there to get on board with, we need to liven up All-Star Week. The MLB All-Star, in my opinion, isn't that much better than the Pro Bowl in the NFL. And everyone hates the fucking Pro Bowl. NHL and NBA All-Star weekends are the best by far because you got skill competitions. The NHL All-Star game is by far the best. But Japanese baseball does like a cool skills competition where they have, I probably talked about this 2 years ago when we started. Right. They have bunting competitions where you have targets on the ground with like bullseyes in the middle and you have like things in the infield that you have to hit line drives at. Let's do something like that. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah,
the All-Star game on its own, I don't really care about.
Another thing too is you can make it like fun, like winner gets X amount of dollars for certain charities and all that kind of stuff. A bunting contest, you could make that really fun, and that's not something that I thought. Like my thing is that players are already like trying to duck this thing, so a bunting contest is something I feel like they'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do that. To get 500. I mean, not 500K. That's kind of a lot. Like 10K to their favorite charity or whatever. And you can make that really fun, super competitive. Make the guys mic'd up, and you can really push. Yeah, that makes sense. Like I've heard ideas that was like, make competitions for like the pitchers, and it's like, dude, someone's gonna do run fastest run from first to home, and it's like someone's gonna pull a hamstring, and it's just don't.
Yeah, I think there are like obstacle course type things you could do for infielders, kind of like the NBA where you have to like pass it into the nets and then you have to shoot some. Like it would be cool to do something like that where you gotta hit these targets, then you have to go in the box, you gotta hit a home run, and then you got to do all this, and whoever does it in the fastest time.
Like, that seems like cool. A little game show me to me. I like the bunt thing. I like the home run derby thing, obviously. But I think if you add the bunt thing, I think that's.
Remember, the whole point of this is to entice younger generations, so
but you also
doesn't die.
These players are already ducking this thing. They're already ducking this thing. What makes you think they're going to be okay doing, things that they can get hurt on? Like I don't know.
So.
I don't know. Alex Wood just retired. Paul Goldschmidt, Arenado in order in the 6th. Give the guy the bag. 10-year extension the fuck now.
Wow, dude. Yeah, Nolan Arenado's never struck out ever until tonight.
Not against the Giants. Probably not.
Yeah. Well, speaking, now that we've talked about your little Giants enough, let's get into some Dodger baseball.
Let's get into some Dodger baseball.
Dodgers swept the Washington Nationals, and boy, did it feel fucking good. Unfortunately, Kyle Schwarber went down. I believe it was game 2. Never want to see a guy hurt, especially someone of that caliber who's been so hot.
Right.
So it was a little bit of a different series because that was the biggest thing for me is I thought we were really going to have to worry about Kyle Schwarber.
Right.
And we get through the rain delays and having to burn pitchers. And then, of course, Sunday having the bullpen game where we threw 8 pitchers. That was rough. But to come away with a sweep, feels great. However, now losing 3 in a row to the Miami Marlins, that 4-game sweep seems very far away.
Right.
The bullpen seems super taxed. On the roster today, we had 14 pitchers. Clayton Kershaw now officially on the injured list as of today.
Oh, I saw that. Right.
So, I don't really have so much to say about the games as much as how those games are going to affect things moving forward. Because if you think about it, before the season started, what was everyone talking about the Dodgers? They have so much starting pitching depth. Who are they even going to put in the rotation? There's too many choices. We now have 2 of the original starters of the opening day rotation on the team. 2. Kershaw's hurt. We all know what's going on with Trevor Bauer. Dustin May, done until, probably done for
mid-year next year. Nah.
We'll see.
He'll be available around this time next year.
We'll see. But Gonsolin's getting stretched out, and he's looked pretty good the last couple starts. He looked great.
Right. He'll get there
this past weekend. But now, what are we going to do with Jimmy Price or David Price and Jimmy Nelson? Because we're going to have to.
You just Brad Jelena them right now.
Yeah. What are we going to stretch one of those guys out? Or are we going to stretch both of them out? Then who are we going to
do the piggyback game
to fill out the bullpen? It's just not looking all that great.
Josiah Gray just came back from an injury. He's still getting stretched out, so it's not like they can just pull him back up
too. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty tough. This is a pretty tough stretch for the Dodgers. Luckily, after the Miami series, we have 4 games with the Diamondbacks. So hopefully we continue our perfect record against them this season. But yeah, Dodgers, despite what the record shows, I think the Dodgers are in worse shape than what the record's showing.
They're in worse shape than the record is showing. Okay, yeah. I get what you're saying now. It took me a second. It does that sometimes, but I think I got it.
So, I don't know. I don't have too much to say. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't want to get into yesterday and today just because I'm still upset.
Right.
But I'm gonna have to just to fill some airtime at the very least. How many times have I said it? No one on Twitter, none of our listeners can say that I have not been saying this for a long time, that Will Smith is a terrible defensive catcher.
Right.
Absolutely terrible. And what does he do yesterday? He tries to one-up me. He's like, oh, yeah, Tyler, you think I'm bad? I'll show you real fucking bad. This whole college baseball bullshit of one leg stretched out when a runner.
A lot of teams are preaching that, though. Like we were talking about with Tyler Heineman, that's something a lot of teams try to preach.
But with a runner in scoring position, how are you going to block a fucking ball? You can't. And Will Smith tries to backhand it, and it doesn't work. And then noodle arms the ball. And I will lump in Justin Turner with this. You got to block the ball. You got to block the ball better than that. But don't even throw it at that point.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
Did you see his interview afterwards?
Turner or Smith?
Smith.
Fuck no.
They were asking him about it, and he was kind of dancing around the question and just really not trying to own up to it. He was talking more about his RBI and how they didn't cash in on runs. And then when the reporter finally was like, well, take me through the last play, he was like, oh, in hindsight, probably shouldn't have threw it. What? I was like, come on, dude. Things happen. I get it. You're a fan and you're very emotional. So I completely get what you're feeling. But on the outside looking in, shit like that happens. Sometimes spectacular intentions of a spectacular play sometimes fuck up, and heat of the moment, it gets to the best of them. But at the end of the day, when that happens, you need to own up to that shit. You need to be look, that was on me. I shouldn't have threw the ball. I should have seen that there was no way I was going to get him. And the chance of that was just too great. Especially that being the winning run. And he should have took that L.
One of the things that have become ever apparent to me in this Marlins series and just this season in general, especially playing the Marlins and the Padres, speed is killing the Dodgers. If you want to beat the Dodgers, steal a bag, because and it's not I mean, give Will Smith and Austin Barnes a little bit of credit. They're not so much stealing on them all the time as they are on the pitchers. The pop time on the pitchers is terrible. And like tonight, bringing in Kenley Jansen with a runner on base makes no fucking sense to me in a tie game, because we all know Kenley has the slowest move to home plate.
You're right.
And
you're
so
right.
what?
Yep.
When what? They steal fucking third on it.
He's purposely balked to just not even worry about.
Right, but this is a tie game situation.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he is not right with people on base. Like he can't even like handle himself. So
explain the managerial decision there.
Yeah.
You know, and then we have the lonely guy left in the bullpen is fucking Edwin Uceta, who is fucking dog shit and gives up the fucking walk-off home run. Man, I never thought I'd say this, but apparently Alex Vestia has been lights out since the Dodgers sent him down the last time. Bring him back up. Dude, maybe even bring up fucking DJ Peters for Cody Bellinger. Who knows? They need something. It's just all around. This series has been all around bad. Everything has been bad.
Yeah. It's in the grand scheme of things, they're still second in the best division in baseball. You know, but they're losing way more than the big bad Dodgers, the best team ever assembled, is supposed to, obviously being in second, but just the optics of everything, especially being more than halfway through the season. I mean, barely more, but still more. But yeah, moving on to the Giants side. I was a little worried at the first Diamondback game. And we lost that first one, but we ended up taking the next three, just hits on hits on hits. Everyone was looking, I mean, at this point, it's like, what do you have to say when you beat the shit out of the Diamondbacks? Like, that's what you should do. And I mean, yeah, it should be a clap, but should we break down how good, you know, Brandon Crawford had one really good game, and just, you know, Austin Slater had really good games, and you know, carried that over into the first game against the Cardinals. But like, I'm not even really going to stress on it. It was great. Move on. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I am surprised that it's looking more and more likely the Giants are going to pull this off. 3-1. Alex Wood is still shoving in the bottom of the sixth. And I'm surprised they're going to get one. I was halfway kidding at the beginning of the season when I said when the Cardinals got Arenado, like, these games right here are scheduled, 6 wins, because there's no way we're beating a lineup with Goldy and Arenado, but it's low-key kind of true. They started to come back and in both games, but fell short. They're leaving a lot of runners on base. I think it's just a thing of it happens in baseball. I mean, you can't pick and choose your hits, but at the same time, like, fuck, dude, it is really tiring and really fucking annoying. So many runners on base. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they pick up this win. They are for sure gonna stay in first place till the National Series. Yeah, I mean, we can only hope that the Marlins are gonna continue their hot streak against the Dodgers, and we become 2 games up.
Well, the Dodgers better not lose, because it's like the one of the 5 games they have an actual pitcher going instead of a dumb bullpen game. So that's a must win tomorrow.
Yeah. If you were to tell me that the Dodgers were a half game behind the Giants going into a Cardinal series, and they're playing the Marlins, I would think no fucking way. We're in second. So the fact that we're here, I'm very happy, and I'm counting my blessings. And counting blessings, let's go to stud and dud of the week. I got to give a quick dud, because I feel like these numbers aren't great, but they're not that bad. I mean, he just came off of a hot week, but everyone is technically doing good. They're just not cashing in on runs with not a lot of RBIs, but everyone else is looking good. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give it to my guy, Lamont Wade, hitting a 188. I mean, but everything else isn't that bad. I mean, the slugging is still just under 500. I mean, 438, not that. I mean, it's not great, but It's not that bad. OPS at 700. If that's your dud of the week, that's not that bad. I don't know. But I do got to give, by the way, quick drop for the Nationals beating the shit out of the Padres today. Good for them. And for me and for you. Stud. It's got to go to my man All-Star. Put some respect on his name. DJ Becraw hitting 571 with a 609 on base percentage with a 1.3 OPS. DJ Becraw. Put some respect on the dude's name. DJ Becraw dick dropping tour. What's good?
Everyone's just dropping dick on the Giants, apparently. Dud of the week. Dud of the week, easy. Easy for the Dodgers. Cody Bellinger hitting 87. Not 187, 87. So we all know the Mendoza line's
almost had
200.
A home run, but
Mendoza line's 200. Can we make up a new 100 line so I can say Cody Bellinger's under that? Like Cody Bellinger's under the Jesse line. Under 100, You're under the Jesse line.
Well, that on would just base maybe percentage be saying that I'm late, so I'll take that.
You might think, oh, he's batting 87. Maybe he's throwing in some walks. On base percentage, 185.
He's got one walk.
Yeah, he's not looking good. And his slugging percentage is 87. That means the only balls he's made contact with were his 2 hits. He's not even making contact with the fucking ball. He looks lost. He looks terrible.
Right.
He looks terrible.
So 2 years ago he was the hands down MVP. Had a bad 2020, not bad 2020. He actually picked it up in the playoffs. But where are you with Cody Bellinger? Like, are you like beyond concerned? Oh, he'll pick it up eventually. Where are you at with him?
I'm not beyond concerned, and the reason why is he had a short spring because of the surgery to his shoulder.
Right.
God, I thought that ball was getting out for a second.
Oh, no, yeah, I thought the same thing. Harrison Bader thought he did too when he threw the bat. That's the second time Harrison Bader hit the ball really long and kind of like not bat flip, but kind of just wanted to got oracled. Happens.
Anyways, Cody Bellinger, short spring because of the shoulder, plays 4-5 games this season before he goes down with the leg fracture. So he hasn't really played that much.
Right.
But 87. That's bad. Like we have starting pitchers that are hitting better than that in the past week. So I'm not super concerned. Like hit the panic button. He's a piece of shit, and that MVP was a fluke. I'm not at that point yet.
Right.
Like a lot of people are on Twitter, but he needs to pick it up. He's a key piece of the lineup. And with Mookie's struggles, dude, one of those two have to pick it up. Stud of the week, I'm going bullpen. Simply because they're getting overworked AF right now. And to pull off that win on Sunday, that was big. It was all hands on deck. That was a big win. But the bullpen, given what's happened this year with starting pitching, and especially as of late, I think the bullpen's done pretty well.
Right.
Even though, things haven't been good this series with the Marlins. But
right.
It's going to be all hands on deck for a little while until this Trevor Bauer situation is sorted out. And,
it's really fucked you guys.
Yeah. With the trade deadline coming up, everyone keeps talking, the Dodgers have to make a trade. Dude, a lot of teams aren't going to be trading until a day or two before the deadline happens because they're still trying to see. So, we're still 3 weeks away from trading for a starter. If we're, going to be looking for a high, a highly valued starter like
Max Scherzer, don't think it's Jose Barrios, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So the Dodgers are a few weeks away from trading for a starting pitcher, presumably. So something's going to have to give, whether it's going to be 2 bullpen games a week, which will fry the bullpen.
Yeah, you can't do
or
that.
we
even
bring
one bullpen game
on the 40. Yeah, Josiah Gray is not going to be coming up before the trade deadline. I can almost guarantee you that. I don't think he's built up enough So it could be someone else from the 40-man. I don't know. It's not looking good. Right. But I hope we trade for someone, and we will.
You know what though? I mean, it could be beneficial to trade for an innings eater. I mean, it might not be the Max Scherzer shining piece, but if you get someone who can eat some innings and be a fifth starter,
that would be huge.
That would be, even though that's not your grandchild. I mean, you trade for a Tyler. You trade for a Tyler Anderson from the Pirates. Probably get him for almost nothing. He'll give you innings, make it to where you don't have a bullpen game, and he could fuck around and have a really solid outing. He's not gonna, turn any heads, but he can be a solid, rotation piece. Yeah. That's something that you guys need ASAP.
But we need both. I think we're going to need both.
Everyone needs starting pitching and bullpen help, though.
Because
so that might have to wait.
Yeah, Dustin May is gone. I'm assuming Trevor Bauer will not throw another pitch the rest of the season.
Right.
So now we're down 2. So it would be nice to have both, but we'll see. We'll get into that with our trade deadline preview episode.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
the next couple weeks.
Same thing with the Giants. I mean, just a quick, Giants need a starter if they want to be serious about this. I think they can wheel and deal with the bullpen. They could be okay. I would like if they got a bullpen piece, but it's not the end of the world if they don't, because you can put Weber and you can put Sanchez back there when they're ready. But they need, if they want to be serious about this division, they need to trade for a 1 through 3 guy. Obviously a 1 and 2 makes them legitimate contenders for that division. A 3 guy keeps them in the mix, and I feel like solidifies them a spot in the 1 or 2 wild card spots. So, I mean, we'll break down, obviously when we do that, it'll be more, we'll know who's available and all that kind of stuff. One thing I do want to connect on, nice little bridge right there, connect, was the Giants Connect jersey. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it on the field yet. I feel like that is something that I do want to see on the field. I was bummed when I first saw it, and the more I look at it, I'm like, it's not that bad. Like, that's my attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be buying one. I can tell you that. But it's not nearly the top of the Connect jerseys. It's just not a White as Sox bad. Jersey. No, it's not even.
Those are baller as shit.
The Marlins ones are pretty fire too. And I like the Wrigley ones better than those two. And the Wrigley ones got freaking murdered, and I thought they weren't that bad at all. I kind of liked them, but I mean, they're not as bad as Boston. So we'll give them that. We'll see how it looks.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I'm bummed because I buy a lot of jerseys, so I was really excited when I saw the White Sox one. I was like, "Oh, the Giants wants to be fucking fire." I don't know what they need. Like, don't ask me about design stuff. That's your job. I just know what I like, and I'm not sure that I like that one.
No one's as bad as New Era. They put out those one hats that got like the area code hats that they got slaughtered on Twitter for, and then they put out something this week that had like all different kind of fonts spelling out the team name. And then, like, the Dodgers, for instance, had the LA in the back with, like, I don't know, it looked like a 4-year-old wrote Dodgers over it, and they got roasted for that. I'm sure they've already pulled those too. Like, come on. Someone has to, like, know something. Someone has to be better than that. But I don't think the Giants Connect jerseys were all that bad either.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It's not enough
to me.
It's exactly. Boring. It's not, like, exciting. It's like, it's not like, oh my God, Boston. Oh, that's ugly. But I'm not spending $100 for one of those things.
It would have been even cooler if they did a black jersey with the bridge in orange.
Right. Well, they kind of have that a little bit with their black jersey, but it's just a patch with the bridge. But yeah. So maybe they were trying to get away from that. They were really focusing on the fog. I'm not sure why the fog is something you'd want to focus on.
That was
it is what it is. I'm not buying one. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think people kind of make too big of a deal about that, but just don't buy it, which I will be joining on that and not buying. So, yeah. Oh, real quick, fuck you of the week to Cardinals pitcher, the starting pitcher in Game 3, Oviedo, for yelling at my man Mike Yastrzemski. Told him to shut the fuck up. And they started jawing back and forth. Bitcher like 22. This is Mike Yastrzemski, okay?
You act like Mike Yastrzemski is like Shohei Ohtani. And Ottavino is yelling at Shohei Ohtani, and I don't think he's wrong for even doing that. So why don't you stop being a little Cincy senator?
I will not.
and just
Mike Yastrzemski's a saint. You understand me? Look at me. A saint.
Yeah, you're a little bitch.
So don't yell at him.
Shohei Ohtani is the face of baseball. Okay? Relax.
Whatever. Well, I don't know why you brought Shohei in
Man.
this. That's over the line. We went too far. Yeah. But yeah, next week outlooks. It's only gonna be one more series until the big dance of the All-Star game. They're gonna play against the Nats. They need to take this series. They're not facing Scherzer. He's gonna be pitching tomorrow against the Padres. Kyle Schwarber's not there. If not a sweep, at least 2 or 3. And yeah, I mean, there's no other way around it. It needs to I hate to say that about a series because things happen, but after a tough Cardinals series and you're going to face the Cardinals again right after the All-Star game, you need to take the series and take it. And I want to make one quick prediction. Alex Dickerson is I feel like he's right there. So I predict my stud next week will be Alex Dickerson. Fuck with me.
You just jinxed Alex Dickerson now too. Dodgers have one more game in Miami tomorrow afternoon or this afternoon. And then we have 3 against the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers have to sweep the Diamondbacks. They have to. Mm-hmm. They need to win tomorrow. They need to sweep the Diamondbacks. And there's still a chance they can go into the All-Star break in first place. And that's the goal. I never thought I would say this, but I think it might be kind of tough to sweep the Diamondbacks. I mean, a sweep is tough no matter what.
Regardless, right.
Given the pitching, and now we have to figure out the bullpen for 2 games instead of 1. So we'll see what happens. Just need Kershaw to be okay. That's the most important thing. Yeah, for sure. You can't do shit without that dude. As always, this episode is brought to you by Renovation Candle Company. For summer candles, they're dwindling. They're almost gone. Making room for fall candles. So go get your summer candles while you still can. Summer candles, they're undeniable. Sales and stuff. Wax on top. Wow. Boom. 10 out of 10. I just made Renovation Candle Company $1 million, right there. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to tune to us next week. We're going to talk about some draft stuff, some all-star stuff, and of course, you got to recap the 1 series. So, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Benches Clear Podcast, on Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and TikTok, Benches Cleared, where a lot of people are just fighting. And I was gonna say, without you even saying it, keep fighting with each other in the comments. I love it. That's what we're about, is fighting and trash talk. We love it. Keep doing that. It makes me very happy. So let me continue to do that. We'll actually be doing a giveaway very soon. From maybe a all-stars type thing. Who knows? But thank you guys for listening. We will see you guys next week.